Hello again, everyone. I'm Germain. Welcome to INFOcus People and Places. We are back here on the MCTV studio set, and we have a crowded house today. Lots of ladies in here. I never complain about that. They are here, and we're going to talk about the Addison County United Way, another successful campaign, and they are teaming up with the letter carriers, the local letter carriers. It's actually a national program for a food drive coming up just around the corner, and we've brought Jill Charbonneau, one of Middlebury's finest letter carriers.
Been talking to my mom?
Yes, I did. Just got off the phone with her before we started this interview, so we're going to be talking with Jill about that, and the ladies from the United Way about that throughout the next half hour. All right, first of all, to my left, she is here. She is Kate McGowan. I don't know why I'm looking at your name. I know who you are.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
You're Helen Frysmouth.
Absolutely.
And they are co-directors of the always successful
Knock
United
on
Way
wood.
campaign.
We have been very fortunate to have a very large, dedicated, effective, passionate core of volunteers who have been very successful in our fundraising efforts.
And speaking of the fundraising and the campaign, of course, you have to give a big round of applause to the Trudells.
The Trudells, Sam and Kathy, were this year's co-chairs. They did a fabulous job. They were able to reach out to small business owners as well as help with a lot of our events. They were at every event. They worked really hard on our Dine the United Way event, in which diners ate at various restaurants on assigned dates, and those restaurateurs donated some of the profits, in some cases all of the profits, to the United Way.
That's probably one of your bigger events for the campaign, I mean, the most popular ones.
It is a very popular one. A new one this year was a basketball 500. Youth teams and college teams, team members sought pledges for the number of free throws they made. And there were girls and boys, recreational teams, high school teams, and the college team, and they raised $9,000 for the United Way. And that helped bring us to our goal, surpass our goal. We actually raised about $738,000.
Wow.
It's the most ever, and it's due in part to the Trudells, but there are many, many other volunteers that helped them.
Including, I would imagine, some anonymous donors, just individuals
We
contributing.
do have individuals. We have individuals who give directly. We have individuals who give through payroll deduction, which is an important part of our campaign. And we thank those businesses who support our payroll deduction campaigns. That allows people who might not feel comfortable giving $500 to give $10 a week. That makes it very easy and affordable.
Kate,
Yes.
explain the United Way for people out there who, have been on Pluto for the past who knows how many years. What is the Addison County United Way all about?
We are all about gathering resources, both financial and people and know-how, gathering them all together to help meet community needs, to help identify and solve them. And I think we really do a great job here. This community really participates on all aspects of those counts.
Define, Kate, community needs. There are many.
There are many.
But what are some of the ones that people would know about directly?
Well, I think right now we can see a real impact on housing, on making your ends meet. I think we're seeing an increase in working families who are really struggling to make those ends meet. We've all seen increased costs and maybe decreased incomes. Makes it harder and harder. I think everyone's talking about access to medical care and affordability. So I think those are the ones that really bubble to the top. And then couple that with early education issues and seniors, issues of keeping seniors independent and living healthily and well in their homes, and all those issues that people throughout the community are struggling with or thinking about when it comes to their own family members and their neighbors.
And you help support and that money that you raised, over $730,000, goes to primarily area nonprofits to keep them floating and keep them viable and helping the community?
Absolutely. We have a long history of supporting area nonprofits meeting their sort of infrastructure needs, if you will. And I think if you look over the 40 years history of United Way, almost 40 years of history of United Way, we've been one of the most reliable funders for sort of the discretionary funding that agencies have to work with when they identify what their most pressing needs and solutions are. So.
Okay, well, quickly looking ahead, you've got new co-chairs for the next campaign already.
Yeah, Anne and Bob Lafayette have agreed to chair the next campaign, and we had a community celebration last week in which we celebrated all our successes. We gave awards to individuals and businesses and those agencies that have really collaborated to improve things in Addison County.
How do you
Primarily, I just wanted to say
Sure.
we wanted to thank the coalition that put together the Addison County Teens Teen Center. They were award winners in our Community Builder category. And also the Congregational Church of Middlebury received an award for the community suppers that they provide free to anyone and everyone on Friday nights every week.
And part of the reason they received the award, because a community builder not only helps sort of meet needs and find ways to help, but they also offer opportunities to help. And the beautiful thing about those community suppers is they really rely on volunteers and other organizations to gather enough people to prepare the meals and serve the meals and clean up the meals and all that. And so they've managed to get, I think, over 25 different organizations to come in and work on this project. And that's really to be commended.
It's been very successful.
Yep.
And a lot of people appreciate it. So it's the Lafayandras. Next time around, when does the campaign officially start?
Well, officially, I'm not sure what that means. The campaign is a year-round campaign. The real public part of the campaign kicks off in September with our Days of Caring.
I think that's what I was referring
Yeah,
to.
so if people don't know about Days of Caring, it's 2 days of volunteer service. We often have 60 to 80 projects that our partner agencies need to have completed, and we usually have about 200 volunteers who work on those projects.
That's been bigger and better every year.
Yeah, that's
as
been
well.
great, and it's another opportunity for people to be involved. It's another resource, as Kate was saying. It's not just about the monetary funding, but it's about bringing people together to work on the issues and solve problems. That's why we're happy to be partnering with the postal workers. The letter carriers across the country are partnering with United Ways across the country.
And Jill Charbonneau is here.
Hi.
From the Middlebury Post Office.
That's right.
And you have many titles, some that we're just discovering.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all nice.
Thank you.
What is the one that matters the most right now, Jill?
Well, I'm the Executive Vice President of the Vermont State Association of Letter Carriers, and the National Association of Letter Carriers is conducting its 15th annual food drive this Saturday, May 12th. And we hope that anybody who receives a postcard in the mail from their letter carrier will leave some food out by their mailbox for them to pick up. If you live on a rural route and your letter carrier leaves your card, if it's possible to actually put the food in the box, it's very helpful to them. The letter carriers, the city letter carriers, really get a lot of credit for the food drive, but everybody helps. The clerks of rural carriers do a tremendous job. They don't normally get out of their vehicle, which is why they like to have people place the food in the box for them, because it just encumbers their day. But some people bring food into the post office and leave it off. It's however you want to participate. If you're not sure if your letter carrier is participating, call your local post office and ask, and they will tell you. But the real surefire way to know is you get a card in the mail from your letter carrier asking you for a donation.
So if you're living here in Middlebury, definitely.
Yes, if you live in town, there will be letter carriers very glad to pick up your food. You don't have to put it in your mailbox. By your mailbox will be good.
And this is non-perishable food?
Non-perishable, yes.
Cans primarily?
Yeah, cans, boxes. Some people, particularly rural carriers, hesitate to have a lot of glass because they're putting it in their private vehicle. The city carriers have postal service vehicles, which are big, boxy, a lot of room for stuff, and don't have as many concerns.
And obviously don't put a side of beef out there.
Well, not if we can't lift it. You'll have to help us load that.
If you have a side of beef to donate, call us. We'll try to figure out a place to put that.
Let's talk a little bit. I mean, we've actually talked about food a lot already on this program. Before we got to the food drive, you know, the benefits there that you had during the campaign, and food's very important, obviously, to people. People need to eat.
They do.
Very important. A lot of people, unfortunately, go hungry, even here in Addison County. So that's why this kind of program is very, very much needed, very important.
I would say it's critical.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen an increase in the number of food shelves that serve the county. They're now in every major population area, Virgins, Bristol, and Middlebury. There's also one out in Whiting, and there may be others that we're unaware of at this point. They are all reporting increased use by families with small children. This is really a critical in working families.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if everybody could help just a little, it would really make a huge difference in the lives of people who just need a boost right now.
Letter carriers have the food drive this time of year because this is the largest need. You know, children will be getting out of school this summer, and there are plenty of programs to help children be fed in the schools, but when the school doors close, their access to that becomes limited.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How has participation been in the past years?
We usually in Middlebury collect about a ton of food. Some days we do better than others, but you know, it's coupled with Mother's Day, which can be, you know, it's a lot of things to get going on. But I think it's important to honor your mother by helping another mother set her table for her children. I think we can all do it. You know, you just go to the cupboard, get something out, and put it by the mailbox.
Again, non-perishable food items.
Yep.
And if you don't get a card and you want to contribute, where could people contribute? I mean,
they can bring it to the post office.
To the post office?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there a time limit? When does it need to be collected by?
Well, the food drive is Saturday, May 12th. People start bringing food in or leaving food on the day before, and it's not unusual to get some, you know, a couple days after. You know, we will take care of it. If you get it to us, we'll get it to the food shelves.
Okay.
And you distribute it throughout the county to the different food shelves?
To the food shelves, yep. Sometimes the food shelves come and get it. Some food shelves we deliver to. It just depends, you know, what
But it's
their
throughout the
volunteers.
county.
Yep,
Yeah.
the food stays right here in Addison County.
Is this the only time of year you can do that? That the letter carriers do that?
We do it this one time a year. I mean, there are other times. Sometimes around Christmas we find some food by mailboxes, and we just bring it in and put a card in both the food shelves here in Middlebury have post office boxes, so we leave them a card and they come and get their parcel, which is actually food donations. So yeah,
That's convenient.
That will be a busy day for the letter carriers.
It will be.
So you would help. You would love any kind of help if people want to help load it on other vehicles.
Yeah,
so that
it's not.
Folks
You know,
don't have to.
it's really not a big thing. I mean, we're used to it. We've done this. Middlebury's participated from the beginning. You know, it is a lot of work, but people.
It's an annual event.
yeah.
People are used to it.
Yeah, John Young, who passed away this past year, was a rural carrier, a sub-rural carrier, and he did the food drive for a good many years. And he said it's a lot of work, but it's for a good cause, and I think that really sums it up.
Mm. Are there other things that the post office is involved with? Giving back to the community? Well, obviously, you do a big service for the community.
Well, they participate in the United Way, obviously, and they do various displays in the lobby and things like that, and they do Amber Alert, and they have some communities have a community watch for elderly people, but letter carriers are really well known for taking a good care of keeping an eye on what goes on
Sure.
for the elderly people in particular. You notice if someone hasn't picked up their mail, et cetera, et cetera.
Jill, I know you're heavily involved with all these programs. In your words, what are your personal feelings on being involved in the community?
What I really like about the food drive, it's co-sponsored by the United Way, by the AFL-CIO, by Campbell Soups. But what it is really about is people in this community giving something to someone else in their community, and we're just a conduit for that. You know, we just pick the food up. We get a lot of credit, but all we're doing is picking up a gift from someone and bringing it to a central location to be distributed to somebody who needs it. It's the nicest thing. It's all about our communities, and that's what I like about it.
What kind of feedback do you get out there on the route?
People love it. It's fun. It's fun. It just is.
I think it's great. I think people are looking for ways to help others and to touch others. And people can't always do it by giving money. And for people maybe in rural areas or who are homebound, it's a simple way that they can help others.
I think all of you would agree that you really don't have to do much. I mean, you don't really have to put in too much effort, I don't think. Not that you two don't do a great job and you work hard and everything, but you know, for all of these kind of things, food drives, raising money for nonprofits, people of Addison County love to give. Mm-hmm. They love to give back to their communities. And you just, I don't want to say you snap your finger and boom, there's $700,000. There's more to it than that. But you know,
it's a very generous community.
It is.
And we're also happy to see youth volunteers. And I wanted to mention that we had youth awards at our celebration the other night. And we were able to honor 6 exceptional volunteers from Bristol, Virgins, and Middlebury. And we had a great speaker who spoke about community. Bill McKibben talked about the importance of being involved in the community, not just to help others, but the satisfaction that an individual gets from knowing that they've helped someone else and from making those connections, and how those connections really strengthen our community and all of the people who live here.
I think, you know, even young children, they get it to a certain extent. I mean, you see so many of them out there volunteering with different things. So that's great.
Yeah.
Where do you think it comes from? Does it come from the parents, or are they more aware than kids were maybe 50 years ago about what's going on?
Really philosophical.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
And it's a really good question. I think.
And I'm sure it comes from, the word that you get out there as well.
I hope so.
I hope we can help. And I also like to have that hopeful feeling about humanity, that there's something about being human that you want to reach out to help other people, and that that it circles around and support that the community you live in, and the response you get from that outlay of help and assistance and empathy feeds you, and then it builds up and continues to grow. And I think that's what living in community is all about, is getting that feedback that supports that kind of behavior and that thoughtfulness.
Good heavy stuff today on the program. I hope you're taking notes out there. Speaking of that, phone number for more information, Jill, on the food drive, which is coming up, before you know it.
Well, May 12th. You can call the post office at 388-2681 or 388-5454.
Okay.
And
is there a national website?
there is. You can just go to nalc.org.
All right. Or you can simply go to our new website, INFOcusOnTV.com. We'll have a link to that.
Okay, thank you.
As well as a link to the United Way of Addison County website as well for all the
And
latest
we wanted to
information.
mention 211.
Yes,
which is
yes, we're getting to that.
Okay. It's
Do not forget
I
all
know,
these
I know
things.
you didn't, but I thought as long as you're mentioning links that you, well, I'm sure you have a link for 211 information
Yes.
referral service offered by United Way of Vermont.
We're actually going to be talking a lot about that in an upcoming episode as well. But 211 for people, real quick, what is it?
211 is it's a national effort at information and referral. We have one that is statewide here. United Ways of Vermont sponsor it. It's a phone call, just like 911 or 411. You dial 211. You will hear a live person who you can talk to and ask questions about where to get help, where to get services, where to volunteer, where to donate, all those kind of things. So it's a database with a live person who can really help you sort through the complexities and the layers involved in when you have some needs and where to go to get the help.
And that's a big relief there, a live human being instead of that automated voice. I hate that automated voice.
Absolutely. That's what makes all the difference in the world.
Needs assessment. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about that. Who wants to tackle that?
I could tackle that one a little
Yeah.
bit. We asked the community to help us out on this. We started a couple months ago on a a needs assessment community survey where we're hoping to get 375 responses. We had well over 600 responses
Wow.
throughout the community. And really trying to get a sense of what do our friends and neighbors and families think is going on in Addison County. What is wonderful about being here, and what are some of the needs that they see that are emerging for not only themselves but the people that live near them or that they're concerned about. And then what do they anticipate the problems to be in the next 5 years. And the reason we're doing this is just to get a sense of what does everyone think? What are they dealing with? And hopefully this will help feed our pool of information so we can take a look at where we need to prioritize as well. So we want to thank everybody who did take the time to respond, and it's a process now of tallying up all those answers. We have over 15,000 individual responses to sort of take an accounting of. So we're very
How long
lucky.
will it take?
Well, we actually have all the information coded and entered into to some spreadsheets, and now the analysis part is taking place. So we're hoping by the end of the month to have some preliminary sense of what are the things that are bubbling to the top and some of the details behind that. So it's pretty exciting, and we're really grateful to some volunteers that stepped forward to help us. We couldn't have done it without them.
So then we will actually know what is going on in Addison County.
We'll know part of what's going on in Addison
We
County.
will know what 650 people think,
Yeah.
and I think that will mirror what we find in the data, because the surveys are open-ended questions. They are people's perceptions of their lives and the lives around them, but I will also be using data collected by the state and other agencies in terms of their clients and actual services.
Mm-hmm. What is the most common comment that you get on the street?
I don't know.
You know, I think that the most prevalent, if I have a prevalent theme that's run through the surveys that I've read, and I haven't read all of them, is what we talked about earlier, which is really it's getting tougher to make ends meet, and some real concern about how we're going to be able to do that, and as a community and as individuals, that it's just getting tougher out there. And what are the implications for families and individuals and the community as a whole when that's a concern and a reality?
I was just thinking too, I mean, there's been a number of people around here, a number of businesses have closed, factories and businesses, and so there's been some added people out there that definitely are going to need help.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we'll let you know
Okay.
when we have those results. The plan is to let the whole community know that there'll be some sort of publication that comes out and a lot of notification about.
All right, so from a lot of serious, heavy, deep stuff to some serious golf.
Oh, well,
It's going to be that
Some
time
people
again.
take that very seriously.
I know some of them that take that very seriously. I take my mini golf seriously, but that's another story. I digress. All right, let's regress, or however it is. Get back on track. Annual golf tournament coming up.
The United Way has been doing a golf tournament for more than 20 years. It is an important fundraiser for us, but it's also fun. It's a more casual tournament. It takes place the Saturday after the 4th of July. This year it's July 7th. Starts early in the morning at 8 o'clock with a shotgun start. And it's over by about 1 o'clock. We'll have a little barbecue as people wait for the scores. But it's a fun event, I think, because it is more casual and maybe a little less competitive than some of the tournaments that take place at clubs. It takes place at the college, at the Ralph Meyer Golf Course.
Beautiful
It's a
location.
beautiful place to spend the day. We do have a lot of prizes. We have a $100,000 hole-in-one prize. We've got closest to the pin prizes and longest drives. And we also have a putting contest that holds a $500 gift certificate as a prize.
Wow. Are you two going to participate? Are you going to be out there?
We don't golf. We get to. What do we get to do?
We get to organize.
You'll be at the
We get to
barbecue.
watch the hole-in-one competition,
Right.
And,
We'll definitely be there.
we do whatever's needed.
And the Lafayanders would be there, I would imagine.
I would imagine. I actually don't know if Bob golfs or Ann golfs,
I
but
don't believe they do, but we might be able to convince them to come and
Watch.
Yes,
Along
watch
with
and
you, too.
eat and have some fun.
There you go. Jill, do you golf?
No, I don't.
Okay, but you do collect food.
That's right.
And deliver mail, too.
That's right. That's right.
Can't forget that.
Thank you.
All right, give us a recap.
Okay, if you get a postcard from your letter carrier, please leave a food donation by your mailbox or for a rural route in your mailbox on Saturday, May 12th. The National Association of Letter Carriers, in conjunction with the AFL-CIO, Campbell Soup, United Way, are conducting one more time, the 15th time, the food drive. We've collected 750 million pounds of food over the past
My
15 years
goodness.
nationwide. So let's do it again.
Pretty impressive.
that's very impressive.
And the number again?
388-2681 is the Middlebury Post Office. 388-5454 is the Middlebury Letter Carrier Annex. And if you live in Virginia or the surrounding communities, just call your post office and find out what the details are.
But you should have received a postcard.
You should
at
get a
some point.
postcard, yep.
All right.
When did
And
the
again-
postcards come out? This week?
They will come out next week, closer. It works better towards the end of the week for people, kind of as a reminder, Thursday-ish, to put them out in the mail then.
Right.
Or just flag you down if they see you out there
Yeah.
in the street.
Yeah,
All right, well, best of luck and keep up the great work.
thank you.
Jill Charbonneau, folks, from the Middlebury Post Office. And the Letter Carrier Food Drive coming up on the 12th.
Yep.
All right. And Helen and Kate.
Yeah.
Kate,
we're here.
Helen.
We're following you. Close enough.
Yes, co-directors of the, again, successful United Way campaign. And again, great thanks to the Trudells as well for doing
Absolutely.
a wonderful job and helping you reach that goal of $738,000.
Indeed.
My goodness. And I would imagine an even bigger goal next year,
We haven't
perhaps.
set the goal yet,
right.
We'll
but
see.
You will huddle at some point.
Well, it seems to be the way it goes.
Go to our INFOcusOnTV.com website, and we have links to the Letter Carrier Food Drive site as well as the Addison County United Way. All you ladies, thank you so much for coming in. Very informative, and keep up the great work here in Addison County.
Thank you.
thank you, Jerry.
Some important information, and we thank you again for tuning in out there. That's going to do it for this edition of INFOcus People and Places. I'm Germain, your host. Again, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, take care.